I want the good sister-wife relationship. I know they exist. And she kind of said, well, you know, I'll have to think about that.
Yeah, there is some history there in the past that, my desire is there.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of like, oh, do I want to do this again? But it's true. Like, I felt like in this particular conversation, I felt like I was kind of being put on the spot. Like, yeah, I just don't know. Like.
Hey you guys, it's Kody from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It is Wednesday, February 23rd, and if you were a sister wife and you were in a relationship with Kody and you didn't like the other sister wives that you were hanging out with, would you stay in a relationship with Kody even though his other wives are not your friends and the only friend that you had has left Kody? Well, these are the questions now coming out after the part 3 of the episode of the tell-all, because a lot of people are wondering if Janelle has already left Kody.
And I'm sorry. But
I don't know what to make of this, but during the tell-all, there was a few things that I thought were a little bit suspicious. Janelle said that everything with Kody was fine. Janelle said that everything was fine. Janelle said that she was going to stay with Kody. Christine said that Janelle had no plans to leave Kody and that she was still going to stay in a marriage with Kody. Kody refused to say that he was in love with Janelle and said that Janelle was not in love with him if she was being honest with herself. He also said that he didn't partner well with Janelle, and he said that they are friends. They have like a friendship. And Christine likened their relationship to, she doesn't need Kody to fill up her tank. Janelle's just very independent, doesn't need Kody, everything is fine. And then on the part 3, when they talked to Kody about whether or not he planned to stay in polygamy, he said that he has a couple wives that are standing on a bridge ready to burn the bridge down. And he wonders if in that, the whole thing will go kaput, seemingly suggesting that Meri and Janelle are thinking about leaving Kody. So here's the thing. There's been a lot of clues online that Janelle and Kody aren't having the best relationship. Janelle has been traveling a lot with Christine. Janelle and Christine post pictures together all the time. Janelle and Christine have started a business together and they are doing the Plexus thing, basically selling the magical drink that whatever. I don't like it. Anyways, so she and Christine have embarked on this new project with Plexus, and they've also been going on vacations together. And when Christine's new show was announced, no one else said a word except for Janelle. Meri snubbed Christine. Robyn hasn't been online in over a year, and Kody said nothing. Janelle was very excited for Christine to take this new spin-off and hopefully make this into a new show.
Christine Brown from Sister Wives has a new cooking show called Cooking with Just Christine. She's been talking about this for so long, and she's so excited to be able to do this and have TLC pay for it. She's so happy. Everyone, please support her in this. She wants it to do really well because this is what she does. This is who she is. She loves cooking and she loves to do this. Please, please, all of you go support her in this.
I don't know, under the stress and the reality now that she's gone, Christine, whether or not Janelle can make it. And this is why I think this. This is my opinion on this video. I'm gonna speculate here. Some of you guys, that's fine. All right, let's go. So Janelle and Christine have been close for years. Now, they didn't really like each other in the very beginning. Janelle actually said that Christine was kind of a princess. Janelle seems to have this opinion of a lot of people. She also said something very similar to Robyn. But the difference here is that over time, Janelle and Christine developed a relationship because Christine was taking care of Janelle's kids while Janelle worked to help support the family. The kids that Janelle has are very attached to Christine, and that has bonded the two women because obviously the kids look at Christine as a mom to them. The two of them raised their children together. And even though it wasn't always easy and they didn't always get along, the two of them did have a very complementary relationship where they could work together for the common goal. Over the last several years, they've also been able to rely on each other and sort of vent to one another as they've gone through some of the very difficult parts of their marriages. When COVID hit, it was very clear that Meri and Robyn were on one side and they were siding with Kody in regards to his rules and what they were going to do to follow the rules. Janelle has never gotten along with Meri, and she doesn't want to have a relationship with Robyn. Her relationship with Robyn has broken down over the years because Janelle's never really been enthusiastic about her joining the family, didn't like the financial burden that her family brought to the family. She thought that Robyn played like the damsel in distress, and she just, the way that Robyn treated her kids, she wasn't a fan of. There's history. Meri and Janelle don't like each other to the extent that they couldn't even drive in a car together. They went into therapy together. They got into fights. They married. Like, it was so tense when Janelle joined the family. Janelle actually left Kody after a while. The brutal relationship between Meri and Janelle even was brought up this season when Janelle confronted Meri about building a house at the pond, and you know how when we all lived in one house, you wouldn't let us walk through the house in order to get to Christine's place because they would use Meri's house as a hallway, which Meri didn't like. So Janelle and Meri do not have a very good relationship, and they never have, and they probably never will. And Meri and Robyn are very close. So what happens when it's you become the odd woman out? Kody has made clear that he sees her more as a friend. He's not really in love with her, and that, you know, they're not partnering very well. Her boys don't want anything to do with Kody, and Kody is extremely resentful of what happened with COVID. Garrison and Gabriel are angry at their dad for the control and the favoritism that they feel he has for Robyn's kids and for Robyn. So Janelle has said repeatedly over and over and over again, I'm going to pick my boys, I'm going to pick my family, I'm going to pick my kids over Kody. They didn't spend Thanksgiving together in the season previously, but they didn't spend Thanksgiving together this year. They didn't spend Christmas together this year. They haven't been in a full fellowship for a while. And now she is the only one that has actually congratulated Christine on her new show. I think, and this is just my opinion, if she has left, good for her. If she hasn't left yet, I think she's probably on the way out the door. And even though she was on this last episode saying basically everything was fine and she planned to stay with Kody, it was very clear to me that there was more to the story that she just wasn't going to say. And it was also very clear to me that she didn't want to discuss her relationship with Kody because she just was very abrupt, like, we're fine, everything's fine, it's all good. You know what I mean? So what I think is going to happen is the relationship between Christine and Janelle is going to impact Janelle, because Janelle's going to be able to see how happy Christine is. She's going to see what life looks like for Christine outside of Kody. She's going to see the independence, the happiness, the joy that she gets from this. And she might start questioning her faith, her resolve around plural marriage. And I think if anyone other than Christine were to leave, I think it would be Janelle, because Janelle didn't grow up in polygamy. This isn't something that, even though she married Kody and went into polygamy, this is not what she grew up in.
At 19, I did marry Meri's brother. We were young. It was very short-lived. Maybe a year and a half, we were divorced. Then the faith came along, and I embraced the faith, and then it was just sort of natural. I wanted to marry the very best guy I knew.
She wasn't a polygamist. She was introduced to polygamy through Meri's brother, who she briefly married, and then they divorced, and then she was friends with Meri, and then she really liked Kody, and she wanted to try polygamy. So if anyone could revert back to the way that they grew up easier, because they haven't been indoctrinated since birth, I think it would be Janelle. I think losing your partner in crime, Christine, is going to have a huge impact on the dynamic in the family. She's not going to have the same sister-wife relationships with the other two wives who are very close and very connected. And so she's going to be the odd woman out. She's not going to have the backup. She's not going to have the support that she once did. She's not going to have Christine there for cooking and doing all the fun things at the holidays. Her life has dramatically changed. I think that if I were Janelle, I would just leave and I would actually just pick Christine, if I'm being honest. Now, fans also think that Janelle has left. Over on Reddit, some people also have sort of noticed some of the issues going on. One of the posters on Reddit thinks that the following reasons why Janelle has already left. She's taking vacations with Christine to Disney. Christine posted pictures on New Year's Eve with Janelle, which means they may have spent the holidays together this year. She's been calling out Kody's abusive BS all season so far, especially his passive-aggressive diatribe during the family meeting about Thanksgiving. Obviously, this is all speculation, but because she hasn't announced anything, but it seems to me like she's been undergoing some massive changes. What do you think? So I don't know if she has left. I don't think she has left yet, but I do think she might in the future. And I think she could very well be out the door soon. Us Weekly had a really good scoop, and they have really good connections to the family, so I trust their sources when they say that, you know, Janelle is considering leaving. I just don't know if she's left yet. But do you think that she might leave given what's happened in the family, even though she said all of that during the tell-all? Do you think that's changed? We know that that was filmed months ago. Where do you think she's at today? Tell me in the comments below. Bye, guys.